Yo, the tool I'll be using to find positive expected value plays to put on my 3-man tickets and my 5-man flex plays will be Daily Grind Fantasy. I have partnered with Daily Grind Fantasy to bring you the Fantasy Optimizer. The Fantasy Optimizer does nothing but scan all the sports books and daily fantasy sites and compares their odds and lines to each other, and then it spits out the plays that have the highest mathematical chance to hit. That's it. This does not mean that every play is going to hit. This means that this is the highest play. This is the play with the highest expected value. I don't know how to say that yet. It scans all DFS fantasy sites with all the ones that you have listed here at the top. It compares them to all of these sports books and it spits out the play with the highest expected value at any given moment. I don't want to, if I hit refresh, it may change. So I'm going to use these plays to build my first ticket with Daily Grind Fantasy. Now, obviously, you guys know that I use Outlier a lot. I will still go and look at the historical data from Outlier, but Daily Grind Fantasy is where I'm going to get these positive expected value plays to put on my 3-man tickets and my 5-man flex plays. Hey, speaking of 5-man flex plays, Underdog Fantasy has given us the ability to play 6-man, 7-man, and 8-man. Now, according to the math, the optimal play is the 6-man flex play. It pays 25x if you hit all 6. Now, I got Underdog Fantasy listed right here. I got it highlighted right here, and you can see already that it has a ton of value already. The value being that it has found plays that have a high mathematical chance to hit. And it shows you here with how green these are, and it shows you as the plays get less and less chances to hit. All right. So I'm doing Boom Fantasy. I play on Boom Fantasy. I play on Underdog. Tomorrow we have game 3. So obviously I want to see some basketball plays. I want to see some baseball plays. So bam, let's start off with just these first 3 is my first 3-man ticket. It's Nick Dodolo. His strikeout line is at 6.5. We're going under because Daily Grind Fantasy has identified that there's value in the under. Pinnacle, the sharpest book in the land, has the line at 6.5 at -194. Because we playing the 3-man ticket that pays out 6x, we're getting approximately 122 at every leg, essentially. So if I play 1, 2, 3 legs that have value or that are positive expected value, not saying it's the highest available, or these 2 are not even green, but just because I could look at the sharpest book in the land and see that Daniel Gafford rebounds at 5.5 is at -150 on Pinnacle, -125, 135 on other sports books like DraftKings and BetMGM. Caesars has it at -135. I'm playing the over here, 5.5 on my ticket. That's the second leg. The third leg will be Al Horford rebounds under 7.5. Pinnacle has him at 7.5 as well at -147. You see all the rest of these books also have it leaning towards the under. That's my third leg. I do have that ticket somewhere. I don't know if I put it up. Where am I going to put my ticket at? That's interesting. So this is my first time using it. I got to get used to it. Again, I'll follow up and look at these plays on Outlier. Now that I have that ticket selected and I know who I'm playing with, I'll go over here to Outlier and look up Al Horford. Let's open up Al Horford. Let's open up Daniel Gafford. And then the other one was Nick. The other one was Nick Lodolo. Let's open up Nick Lodolo also. Al Horford rebound line was at 7.5. Let's go to Al Horford rebounds. And then at 7.5, you see the over is +105. And you can see the last 10 games, he had 7 and 2 back-to-back games. Let's look at the last 5. He had 7 and 2 back-to-back games. Again, the line is at 7.5, and we're going under. Let's hit the under here. The consensus is at -125. So we like the play according to DGF. And now that I've looked through Outlier, I also like the play again. Even though he had 7 in back-to-back games, he missed about a hook. I'm taking Al Horford under 7.5. 7.5 rebounds. Bang. The next play is Daniel Gafford. I think it was his rebound line also Daniel Gafford, rebound line is at 5.5. We like the over. He had 9 in his last game. I played this in game 2 as well, and it's Matt. But he had 9 in his last game. The over is minus 125 on the consensus. You can also see, obviously, on Outlier, where you see the other books, where they have it favored at, or where they have it the line listed at. Daniel Gafford over 5.5. It's hitting at 70% in the last 10 games. He did not cover it in game 1, but in game 2, he had 9 rebounds. 60% in the last 10 games. Let's look at his rebound chances. They should be down here at 14 rebound chances on average. He had 16 in that game, covered easily. But he only had 8 rebound chances in game 1 and did not. And then my last play was, not the last play, but the third play on that leg was Nick. Let's go find Nick. Lodolo. Where is he? Right here. And then his strikeout line was at, what, 6.5? Let's go find Nick Lodolo. Strikeout line was at 6.5. Yes. And then we liked the under. I think we like the under. Go back to and see it. Yeah, under 6.5. Under 6.5 strikeouts. The under is minus 130. In the last 10 games, the under is hitting at, in his last 10 outings, the under is hitting at 70%. And he lasts about 5.2 innings per outing. His strikeout percentage is what, 25%? Yeah. No one has any history against Nick Lodolo. Not really. There's a couple of batters. Jose Ramirez does, but strikeout line is at 6.5. The consensus has it at minus 130. I showed you what the optimizer has it as the number one rated play at this moment. I haven't hit refresh. I wanted to show this off. And that is my 3-man ticket. Quick, easy 3-man ticket. That's how it works. This is how I'm going to be doing it. I'm using Daily Grind Fantasy. There's a link in the description for you to get 25% off, or use code RICO if you want to check it out, or just follow along with my channel and you'll see how it works if you want to see somebody test it out before you try it. But you already know. Let's get this dough.